Okay, well, first of all, happy anniversary to North Kent Connect, formerly North Kent Service Center. My name is Robert Andrus. I was involved in the organization back in the early 2000s. At the time, the North Kent Service Center had outgrown their space at the Kateri Lodge at the Our Lady Constellation Church building. And Linda Sudik, a former staffer here, her husband Tom and I were in Rotary together, and they felt that they needed a owner's rep on the board, and it was an interim position. And they had hired a design team and a contractor to help with the new building. So I was asked to come on the board by Tom Pierce, former director, to be the newest board member and help through the process. And I stayed on through that interim term and saw the building built, and then had a term of my own. And the last year I was the president of the organization. And then fast forward to 2017, we got to help out with the design of the addition. So hopefully we'll be around to see the next building or the next addition for the center. Well, some of the fun things for me were back then Tom Pierce would make lunch for us. Our board meetings were at lunchtime, so he was famous for his luncheons. And also he did a one-man talent show performance as a fundraiser. And some other fun memories were Sandy Wade, former director, had a cookie jar fundraiser. So we had cookie jars throughout the multi-purpose room all over the place. As far as the eye could see. We never got any cookies out of it, but we've got the cookie jars around there. Looking back at the center working out of the Kateri Lodge, which was a blessing to have a building. It was great that Our Lady Constellation allowed the North Kent Service Center to use the building. But looking back on it now, I don't know how staff and directors were able, and user groups were able to function out of that building. It was so small. And the usable area for the public to come in and shop and be serviced was too tiny. So moving into this building, the groundbreaking for the original building here on Northland Drive was phenomenal because it must have quadrupled the size for the public to come in and use and see goods and have services, and to have the private offices for the various team members to assist the public that had specific needs that needed to be satisfied. What I do cherish and respect is the number of people, both staff, volunteers, over the years that have given of their time, their treasure, their talent, and have worked towards helping the people in the community that are in need. And there's so many people, and we were just a small part of a large group of people, and I'm thankful to be that small part, to have contributed in my little way. But there's been so many people over the years and decades, 50 years now, that have done so much more than anybody really knows about. They just quietly do it. They volunteer, and they put in their hours as retirees or in their free time, or that were clients and came back and helped out later and volunteered. And I can't even imagine what the list must be of the number of people that have volunteered their time here. I would be remiss if I didn't say the Energizer Bunny of Claire, Patty, and then Dave. I mean, there's a core group of people there that really knew what the final picture should look like, and what the different components were and how to best make it work. So it did make our job a lot easier. The Sweetheart Splash was a combination back in the early 2000s between Rotary of Rockford and the North Kent Service Center. Rotary actually ran the event, and it was held around Valentine's Day. And the idea was it was a fundraiser for North Kent Service Center, and they cut a hole in the ice by the dam, the Rogue River, and then for a donation, you could be sponsored to jump in the river. Until I jumped in and completely lost my breath from the frigid water. It's like, for those of you that played football growing up and you get hit in the stomach and you lose your breath, that's what it was like for me. Immediately popping up and having all the wind knocked out of you. Happy 50th anniversary.
You're the only one who even thought about saying happy anniversary.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm like, nobody else thought of it. We had a practice.
Did anybody else bring in a whole page of notes?